Hey everyone, Mike from Just Watch back with another review. Excited for this one. Excited because this one's a little bit different for me. We're going outside of the dive watch realm, which is scary, I know. But it's every now and then it's good to mix it up, and I know I love dive watches, as you can tell, because that's pretty much all I've been talking about on this channel. But I figured it would be good to kind of get into some different styles as well and talk about some different watches. But what's kind of funny was the watch that I chose is the Seiko. Give you a closer look there, if it focuses, I hope it does. It's the Seiko SARY SARY057, which is basically a dressy version of a Seiko Turtle, and we'll get into why that is on the video. So everyone, I hope you enjoy this video, and let's go get into this SARY57.
All right, so let's take a quick look at this Seiko SARY57 from Seiko Watch. This is a Japanese domestic model, also known as the JDM model. It is not available from US retailers, so if you want to score one, you've got to go to eBay, Amazon, or do some Google and see who you can find offshore that retails these watches. And there's quite a few people out there that retails these watches. As we said in the intro, I basically consider this watch a dressy version of the Turtle, and let me tell you why. And people that know the Turtle dive watch will probably already pick up that one of the main reasons is you have that day-date complication there at the 3 o'clock. So really nice feature. I really enjoy having the day-date on my mechanical watches. It's one of my favorite complications. Just nice to have. The other thing that you can't see, but it also shares with the latest generation of Seiko Turtles is the 4R36 movement. And hey, there it is. So there is your 4R36 movement. It is a mechanical automatic movement, 24 joule, beats along at 21,600 beats per minute. Seiko claims that your accuracy range on this movement is -35 to +45, which is gigantic. You know, that's a minute and 10 seconds per day that this watch could potentially be off. This watch, I don't know if I got lucky or what the deal is, but right out of the box, it is under 2 seconds a day fast. So that's over like 36 hours. It has not even gained 2 seconds yet. So really awesome as far as that goes. So as I said in the intro, there are some things I like about this watch. I don't love it, but I definitely really like. So let's go through the things that I like about this watch first off. So as we already mentioned, I like that day date feature at the 3 o'clock. I also really enjoy the finish on that dial. Look at that gorgeous deep black, glossy black finish that it has. It is to the point when you're looking at it, you can actually see the reflection of the sweeping second hand and also the hour and minute hands in the dial. So it's an amazing, almost bottomless looking gloss black dial. I also really like what they did with the chapter ring here with the hash marks between the index markers. I think that looks awesome. I really love the fine little marks that are going between those that kind of match the pulsing of the second hand. And also those gorgeous index markers themselves. They are a polished stainless with beveled edges applied, and also an applied polished Seiko logo there at the 12 o'clock, and a polished script. I think that's a screen logo at the 6 o'clock with the automatic, and then of course your 4R36 signing, Japan down there, starting between the 7 and 8 o'clock and going all the way across to between the 6 and the 5. So really nice job with the dial overall. I give the dial, everything about the dial, the handset, 2 thumbs up. Really nice job, Seiko. I think it's a gorgeous dial. The other thing I really like about this watch too is the size of it. So what you're getting here, you're getting 49 millimeters from lug to lug. So it's a nice size lengthwise or heightwise, whichever you prefer for calling that dimension. It's a 41 millimeter case diameter, excluding the crown, and it's about a 12 millimeter deep watch. So really nice size on the wrist, and we'll give you a wrist shot of it in a little bit. The other thing I like about this watch too is just the overall fit and finish. Really nice as far as the way they applied the two different finishes. So first thing you have is kind of a fine brushing, giving you kind of a matte look finish on the some of the tops of the watch area and also on the top of the bracelet, going through to the solid end links and also on the top of the lug there. But what they did that I think is really cool is they divided the lug. So they polished the flank of the lug. And you can see that really sharp line there that divides it. So you have your brushed, polished to brush case side. So you have a brushed case side, you have a signed crown, which is also really nice. I really like having that. It is not a screw down crown. I think a screw down crown on this would be phenomenal, but it is not really necessary as it's not, a full dive watch. It is 10 bar water resistant, but it's not really considered a dive watch by any means. Sapphire crystal too, which I think, for the price point of this watch is phenomenal. And Seiko does not list what the case back material is as far as the glass goes. It just says glass. But I'm guessing that's also sapphire, whether, it just says sapphire glass. So I guess you're getting sapphire on both sides of that crystal. You can really see how awesome it is to see that movement there. And we'll get some shots of that for you too. It'll lay over where it's not so clear, but I think it's awesome. Anytime you can see that automatic movement on the back of a watch with that display back, I think that's great. And you can see the nice polish job they do on the back of that case too. And we'll give you a look at the other side of the case too. So there is your other side of the case. So really nice overall fit, finish, the brushing, the polish on the case, and throughout. And then of course your highly polished bezel too, which I think is gorgeous. Just a nice classic watch look as far as that goes too. Solid, as we mentioned, solid end links in an oyster style bracelet. It is a pin and collar style oyster bracelet. So if you size this, I would encourage you to, if you haven't sized one before, to take a look at some videos on how to do it, because there's some very small pieces, that being the collar, that you can lose really easily. So stainless bracelet, you have your fine brushing on the top, your polishing on the sides, and then your stamped stainless pieces on your clasp, your typical pin down to the push, and a brush finish, Seiko signed clasp. It is a short clasp, and then we'll take you around to the other side. So one of the first things that I don't like about this watch is the clasp, and let me tell you the two things that I don't like about it. So the first thing is you see that gap there at the end, and I know I'm not nitpicking, for a watch at this price point. It's nitpicky, but it is something that bothers me just a little bit, so I wanted to point that out. But the other thing, and I understand what Seiko's trying to do here, they're trying to give you, a really nice dressy style with that. But the other thing that I wanted to point out is that you only have 2-position fine adjustment. So if you're sized like I am, where you're kind of in between link sizes, you can't really get a super tight fit or a close fit. Where I have this watch now, my choices are a tiny bit on the tight side or a tiny bit on the loose side. Let me show you what I mean with this too. So I'm going to take this one off, and actually let's do the wrist check real quick too. So wrist check today is the new white dial SARB035. I wanted to grab one of these while I still could. So I went online after the announcement this week and picked one up. I think it's a really nice solid watch. We'll get a review out on this soon too. And you can see a very similar bracelet with that gap to the SARY057. So maybe we'll do a comparison SARY057 to the SARB035. Let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see that side-by-side comparison with these two. I think that would be kind of a fun thing to do. Look at the two head-to-head and do a little bit of a shootout. So let's take a look at this one on. So as I said, that is a push-push with your stamped, and we'll put that on. And see how that's just a little bit looser than the SARB was? And what's weird is that the SARB has the same lack of ability to adjust fine, but for whatever reason, the links just fit me correctly, so it's not an issue. But this one, right now my wrist is running a little bit on the big side, so it's not as loose as normal, but it's it's just, I would like it, if I had one more pin of adjustment, it would be perfect. So if it was like a 3-position adjustment, I think it would be a home run. but it's not. So, and let's just give you a quick look at how that looks on too, because that kind of leads us into the next thing that I don't really like about the watch. And that, so you can see how those lugs curve down. You can really see it on the left there. And that's actually one of the things I don't like. I think they gave it too tight of a radius there. And let me take that back off so you can see it. What's interesting is it doesn't happen to me on the SARB, and I think it's because the SARB is a little bit smaller, but you can see that really dramatic downturn that the lugs take. I wish they did a little bit more like a Rolex or, Omega, where, the profile of the watch is a little bit flatter. Because what's going on there, if you had a smaller than a 7-inch wrist, I think would be great. If you're somebody who's a 6.5 or 6 3/4 inch wrist, I think you're going to be really happy. But what's going on with me is I think that it's curving down too soon. So these corners are sitting up a little bit on my watch, which is causing a bit of a gap there. I think it would fit me better if it was just a little bit of a flatter profile. Once again, I think I'm nitpicking. On the watch, I think it's a minor thing, and it's not uncomfortable by any means. It's just the way it fits. So you can see that gap. So it bothers me just a little. Not a huge deal. It's not a deal breaker. And I'm going to keep this watch. Sometimes I sell them after my review. Sometimes I'll just throw them out on eBay. Sometimes I am going to keep this one because I do really enjoy so much everything else about it, and also that 2-second a day accuracy on this watch is really good. So let's just run you through the likes and don't likes. So the likes is everything about the dial, handset, movement, complication, materials. The combination of sapphire and stainless, the fit and finish, awesome. The combination of brushed and polished finish, and also your hack movement, which I did not show, so I'll give you just a quick look at what the crown is all about there. So it is first position here. It's just, it's not a screw down, so you can wind the watch here in this first position, so you can do the manual wind if you haven't worn it for a few days, or if you change watches up every few days like I do, and you want to just charge it up immediately, you can do that. You pop it out to first position, and you can set your, pop it out to first position, you can set your day and date. So you counterclockwise set your date and clockwise set your day, and you have your combination of kanji and English there on the different days. And then you come out to your second position, and that's where you can set your time. So that's what I like about the watch too. Also, I didn't mention on the dial as I'm spinning around the hands there. The other thing I forgot to mention is this watch does not have lume, which I do not hold against this watch by any means, because it's not meant to be a dress watch, or it's not meant to be a dive watch. It is a dress watch. So I think having kind of a more cleaner dial and just those nice clean minute hand, hour hand, and sweep hand, and also index markers without the lume, I think that's fine. I think no issues there, so no problem there as far as I'm concerned. And then, as I said, the things that I don't like that are minor is I don't like the lack of a adjustability on the bracelet, where you only have that 2 position. I wish that Seiko had just extended that just a hair more. You can see the distance there between the between those adjustment holes. If they made it just that little bit bigger, so we're talking maybe not even 1/4 of an inch bigger, and gave us 1 more position, so we had 3 position, I think that would be really strong. And then I don't like that gap that you get there. Like I said, I think that's the nitpickiest part about this. I think the lack of adjustability is a little bit bigger deal. And then, of course, that the turn down there on the lugs. So all in all, I would give this watch like a 9 out of 10, just as far as affordability, what you're getting for the money, the materials, the fit, the finish, the accuracy. Overall, if anybody is looking for a watch of this style, I would definitely encourage you to give this strong consideration, especially if you're a Seiko fan. Definitely one that you should add to your collection. So everyone, thank you for joining us for this watch review. And like I said, if you want to see a head-to-head between the SARB035 and the SARY057, please note that in the comments. And also, everyone, thank you so much for following along, and for the likes, the comments, the thumbs up, the hearts, everything else that everybody's doing. As we said in the last video, we've got a really nice watch geek community going here on my YouTube account. I'm super happy about that. So everyone, thank you for joining along and for being a part of that. And if you like our videos, please do give us a follow along if you're not already. And also please, share on your social media or your web forums or what have you. We love to have the feedback, and we'll keep making more videos and providing more content. So everyone, thank you for tuning into this episode, and we will catch you on the next one.